Disappointment for Ricky Hatton. Hugs Marco Antonio Barrera. And then goes to say thank you to the travelling thousands. What could I do, he says. Let's head back to Vegas right now and join Ian Dark.
His trainer, Billy Graham. Commiserations, Billy, it didn't quite work out in the end. Why?
No, it didn't. I'm devastated. Well, I always told Ricky in the fight, lead up to the fight, that it wasn't going to be a problem cutting the ring down and catching Floyd. It's because he wasn't too fast to keep Ricky out. I always said that the problem is going to be what to do when you get there, how smart he's going to be. And you know, Ricky smothered his own work and that, but you know, I can't knock him for anything. I mean, he was really smart inside the kid. Like I said, Ricky was too close. He was too close to work, and but I was telling him that, and indeed he could do that. But I suppose he tried to change it, but he physically couldn't.
Was that just because Mayweather is too classy, too good? Because every fighter who fights him seems to have the same problem. They just can't break that defence properly.
Yeah, he's fantastic defensively inside. He really knows what to do. You know what I mean? And that was always my fear. But anyway, it didn't go right. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Heck of an experience. What are you going to do tonight after that?
I'm probably going to do the same as what I was doing in the first place. I was going to go out and get drunk and celebrate, and I'll probably go out and get drunk and commiserate.
Never mind, Billy. Thanks a lot for joining us.
I told you, he's a junior welterweight. I told everybody he's a junior welterweight.
Maybe that's where his future lies. David Hay, so brave, Ricky Hatton.
He did everything he could do. I definitely feel the referee had a part in this fight. He made Hatton become desperate, and a desperate man's a man who's easy to catch. You know, once that point came, once he lost that point, he seemed to change. He seemed to change and try too hard and smother his own work, and I definitely think that affected him.
I think the referee spoiled the fight a little bit, yes, but I think we saw greatness tonight, and we saw glimpses of that right the way through the fight. You know, tremendous punching from Mayweather. He was so accurate, so fast, defensively, very, very good. You know, and he was just he was so calm. You know, Hatton was working at a frenzied pace, whereas inside it just seemed that Mayweather was just taking his time.
The initial worry was going to be the referee messing up Ricky's flow, and Mayweather's unorthodox defence was what fuddled everybody. You thought, how is he doing this? Turn the shoulder, use the forearm. It worked for him, but it's not something you see every day, and that's why it was hard to figure out. Very good on the inside, very messy, very unorthodox, and it took him about 4 or 5 rounds to steady himself down a little bit. And Ricky was again, I thought he was too emotional. Usually Ricky's very calm. He's very smart, very cynical about what he's going to get himself a bit of space, drops the body shots in. He hardly threw any body shots. He was throwing headshots all the way through. Got too emotional, got fired up for it, and that didn't help his work.
Exactly what Billy Graham said. We could all see it as the fight was going on. Hatton was not stepping back that half space and giving himself the room to land those body shots that he always likes to land. He was just leaning in, probably defensively himself. Yeah.
Early on, Ricky was trading. He was getting so stuck in from the first seconds of the fight.
Yeah, he did everything asked him. He did everything right. He was smart, he was clever, kept him under pressure, made him work, made Mayweather work at a pace he didn't feel comfortable with.
We saw the early punches from Mayweather. The writing was on the wall. Hatton was getting caught. He had a bit of success in the second, Johnny, and really came into it, you know, and started landing himself.
That's right, and it was working for him. And it was just that kind of intervention that was stopping it.
Cortez, getting, you know, you can see it right from the beginning of Cortez again, jumping in every opportunity he jumped in and seemed to be blaming Hatton for everything. It was on his mind before the fight, Cortez, and he'd gone in with that mindset that Hatton was to blame for everything, and that was where
he didn't blame Mayweather for ducking too low. He didn't blame Mayweather for turning round. He didn't blame Mayweather for any of that sort of stuff. At times he was hooking Ricky on the blind side of him. Clever how he did it, and he just timed it so right, saw the referee out of his corner of his eye, so Ricky was getting all the pressure. Ricky was the one that was getting his work messed around.
We worried about cuts. Round 3, a cut opened up.
Yeah, that was the big worry. And the thing is, it was the accuracy. It was the accuracy of Mayweather. It was that back right hand lead, worked for him, quick shot, right on the mark. And then again, the right hand again, round 4, boom. Nice time counter, back right hand lead, and it was fooling Ricky because Ricky's expecting the jab to come first. Step back, time counter, right hand, straight down the pipe.
It was
caught Ricky every time.
in this round, Johnny. You know, Hatton just totally lost in this round. He was getting caught punch after punch. He just lost concentration. Took him a while to get that back.
Yeah, but in boxing, if you throw a right hand lead from the back foot, it's the last shot you expect. It's a cheeky shot because it's the furthest away. You're expecting to throw a jab. Cheeky shot's a right hand, and he did it every time he caught him. Ali did it.
David, were you starting to get worried at this stage?
Yeah, definitely. It was the fact that his head stopped moving. You know, Hatton's normally got that real fast feet, but it seemed like he forgot about his game plan and just got way too much emotion getting in. His head stopped moving, and sort of the right hand was on the wall. Once, though, as Johnny says, once those lead right hands start landing, you know, the right hand was on the wall.
But Johnny, you raised the issue about the referee Joe Cortez, and round 6 was the points deduction.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Mayweather cleverly milked the referee, got hustled the referee, turned around, milking it. Ricky threw the shots. You keep throwing shots until the referee steps in and pulls you off. Ricky did what was asked of him.
One thing I will say about that, Cortez, we heard him in the change room before the fight, did say any deliberate punch, I will automatically, no warning, I will take a punch. And you could, you know, Hatton did aim the punch at the back of the head, so that's the way Cortez.
It didn't land. No, but the rope deflected it.
Yeah, exactly, but it might have been hard to see for the referee.
Was that playing on his mind as well, do you think, the rest of the fight? Because he mentioned it in the interview afterwards.
Yeah, it's that the referee had it in his mind that he was trying to be too busy. He was trying to do too much. For me, he ruined the fight. The fight could have had such a better flow. If you watched the Costa Sioux fight, there was a lot of infighting, there was a lot of rough and tumble, and it worked to Hatton's advantage. Once the referee started breaking them up, step back, stop doing this, it really messed up Hatton's flow.
This was part of Mayweather team's plan. Bring up the issues of the Tszyu fight, bring up the issues of Ricky's style of fight. So saying, don't let him rough us up close, making the complaints, making things an issue. That's why Billy Graham had to address them in the dressing room when the referee asked him about them.
For all that, it was at this stage of the fight, I think the Hatton was starting to get tired.
Yeah, round 8, he was taking a lot of shots.
Yeah, it was. And that, it was always going to be a case of if Hatton starts to tire, then the clean boxing of Mayweather's going to come through, and then the target becomes much easier. Hatton's slow, defensively not so good, and he really started to pile on the pressure here. And we were just hoping that Hatton could come through this, and it looked at one stage as if he would. He weathered this quite well.
But either way, Ricky could win. When he was in close, boxing up tight, the referee gave him a hard time, gave him space. Then Mayweather's accuracy, speed, attrition of shots started to break him down.
Cortez coming into the corner there and having words.
Well, I think he was trying to say, David, you know, you've got to, I was about to stop that.
Subtle intimidation. Subtle intimidation.
That really
That's
does
what it
play
is
on a
from
fighter's mind when a referee comes in and saying, oh, you've got to defend yourself, you know, because Ricky Hatton literally had a 20-second conversation with the referee. Instead of thinking about his game plan, what he's got to do, and he couldn't listen to his instructions. He's talking to the referee, trying to convince the referee, I want to carry on.
I wouldn't say it was subtle intimidation. I don't think the referee was trying to intimidate the corner, but I think the referee was overly
unnecessary.
You know, he wasn't against Hatton, but it was just on his mind. He went over there to say, you know, you've got to throw back. I was about to stop you then, said I want to see you more in this fight. And
round 9, he was starting to get picked apart, wasn't he?
Round 9, the pressure of Ricky's pace that he set up, then that worked for Mayweather. He managed to get the distance, get that gap so he could let the jabs go, and then boom, left hook.
On the bun.
It's called a time count. You step out of the way, throw the left hook. It doubled the impact. Ricky walked straight onto it.
Hatton had taken better punches than that earlier in the fight, but when tiredness sets in, that's when it affects
But it also, Mayweather was smart enough to double the impact. As Ricky's coming on, he knew Ricky was walking in a straight line, step outside. Ricky was hurt from the first shot. And he just carried on and carried on and carried on.
I was hoping in these later rounds that the mauling that was happening in the early rounds would work in Hatton's favour, that he was the one who's been in tough fights before, and hoping that Mayweather, you know, he didn't like getting roughed up, but it did not affect him. Physically, he wasn't even out of breath.
Hatton was working at 100% throughout the whole of that fight.
And
Mayweather was working 80. And
he just seemed so cool and calm the whole way through.
Let's not mistake it. Ricky was outclassed there, but he boxed with a shield on his shoulder. He boxed with so much heart, passion, and he did us very, very proud.
How good was and is Floyd Mayweather, Nicky?
He was exceptionally good. He is, I think, rightfully crowned pound-for-pound best boxer in the world today. I think he could compete at any era. And, you know, I mean, I've always said Sugar Ray Leonard's my favourite. Leonard's still a little bit above that, but, you know, he's getting close. And Mayweather, I think, is, you know, one of the greats.
I think I wanted Hatton to win so badly. You know, and these guys kept giving me reality checks going, he's fighting Mayweather. And I'm going, no, you can do it, you can do it. But, you know, Mayweather is, pound for pound, the best fighter in the world for a reason, and he showed it tonight.
Let's head back to Vegas and get the final thoughts of Jim and Ian.
Well, among the British contingent here, there's an overriding sense of sorrow about what we've just witnessed here. Let me say one thing straight away, though. The British fans have behaved impeccably. They applauded Mayweather, acknowledged his class afterwards. Ricky always thought he was going to win this fight. He was convinced he was going to win. Jim, why didn't he?
Unfortunately, simply it wasn't good enough. I mean, he couldn't have done the job any differently. I think his tactics were perfect. They stay on Mayweather, don't allow him any time or any space. But I think he needed a referee who was a little bit more tolerant. I thought Joe Cortez's performance was deplorable. Within 5 seconds he was breaking up the action, and it's as though it was part of the whole plan. Every time they got together, before he would even give it time to see if they were going to throw a punch, he jumped in and broke them up, and that was to suit Mayweather.
But it wasn't the referee that lost the fight, it was the class, wasn't it, in the end? The class, I think, and maybe one element we kind of didn't make the most of, the weight of Mayweather. I think he was a bit too big, so big that Hatton couldn't even make a dent when he got on the inside.
Yeah, that's how it seemed. In the early stages when Ricky was able to push him back and dictate the pace, everything was going fine. I was scoring rounds for him just on sheer work rate. But when it reached the stage that Mayweather could stand his ground and start pushing Ricky back, that's when you knew real problems. And when the pace slowed and Ricky started getting caught cleanly with really hurtful punches, you knew the end was in sight. I didn't expect a stoppage. I thought Ricky would have seen it out, and if Ricky was less courageous, he could have dropped down a gear and settled for a points defeat, but that's not in his psyche. He went for it, and that's the reason he was stopped.
But Ricky Hatton, just to confirm it, has said already that he is going to fight on.
He is going to fight on. David, does he fight on now, like Billy Graham was saying, as a light welterweight?
I'd suggest that he'd do that. You know, his best fights have been at light welter. As he said, as Ricky said after the fight, he had fought Collazo, who was a natural welterweight. His performance wasn't that good on that night. He went back down, then he came back up again to fight the best fighter in the world, pound for pound. So I think it's a sign, go back down to your natural weight and do it with the guys who are the same size as you.
We're out of time. Thanks to David, thanks Nicky, thanks Johnny as well. It's been an amazing night, one way and another. You get a reaction to what's been a fascinating night of boxing. The final verdict on Friday, 8 p.m, Sky Sports Extra. If you can't wait that long, there are replays later today at 9, 12:30 and again at 6:30 here on Sky Box Office. Well, incredibly brave performance from Ricky Hatton, but the pound-for-pound king proved a step too far. See you soon.
This is country versus country.
I've got my eye on the prize.
When you talk about the golden boy, I am the golden boy.
Everybody has an Achilles heel style-wise. I think I'm his.
Skills pays the bills.
If anybody's going to beat Mayweather, it's Ricky Hatton.
There's nothing that Floyd Mayweather can't do.
You watch me go December 8th, there's going to be no stopping me.
It's going to take a clone to beat Floyd Mayweather. The only person that can beat Floyd Mayweather is himself.
I'm ready for this one, more than him.
When it comes down to it, it's me and him one-on-one.
Bring the belts at him. He's going back to Manchester.
145 Hatton. 147 Mayweather.
Steps here.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, the jab knocks Mayweather right off balance.
This is great stuff from Ricky.
There's a right hand, there's another left hand, then another right. That's more what we're used to seeing from Mayweather. Still Hatton's there where he wants to be on his chest, looking to turn this into some kind of barroom brawl. Oh, he wants to do a huge right hand there.
And he was hot again.
got him again there with some classy shots, looking for finishing punches. Mayweather, another big right hand. Hatton's in big trouble here. Oh, he's got him there. And Hatton is laid out on the floor. Only the second time he's ever been down. Can he get up from that? The counts at 6. His eyes are in orbit a bit. Oh, this is the finish, I think, now. Joe Cortez waves the fight off. Ricky Hatton is beaten for the first time in his career. And Floyd Mayweather puts the stamp on his greatness. And the dream dies for Ricky Hatton.
More sport, news and views at skysports.com.